Hello friends, this is Shannon, creative crew member for Scrappiness, here today with another video, and I'm going to use some new products and some not so new products. The first one is going to be the birthday quokka that was just released, and I will be using the Happy B-Day banner, the Happy Birthday banner, and the quokka that's just showing from the waist up. We're going to have the quokka popping out of a cake. The next one is the confetti party stencil. Let me take this out of the package so you can see all of the awesome confetti and stars and little dots. And I'm actually not going to be, I've already stenciled the background. I had this as an extra background for my last card. If you'd like to see how to create this stencil background, I will leave a link somewhere at the top of the screen for you to go back and watch the video how I create this background. And then the final set we're going to use is the birthday essentials, and I'm going to use this layered cake, or I'm sorry, a tiered cake with the frosting that's dripping down and the smaller balloon. And I haven't decided if I'm going to use the balloon strings from here or if I'm going to use string that I tie myself around the balloon. So let me clean this up and we'll get started. Starting with some saltwater taffy distress ink. I am going to have that off screen, but I will be blending some ink. And what I do when I'm ink blending is I like to pull it from the edges towards the center and leave the edges will catch the bristles of the brush, and that ink will be much heavier than it will be in the center. So I just ink up the bristles, come in from the edges, make that much more bold, and then we'll make it lighter in the center, giving us a nice highlight. And I just repeat this process until my entire die cut is covered. Flip it around the other way. Now when I'm inking it, when I keep going back to my ink pad, I'm just getting ink on the top bristles, since that's what I'm primarily using here, or just those bristles on the top of the brush. And then I'll use the rest of the brush to blend that out. And it leaves a nice highlight on the rest of the die cut. Okay. Set that cake aside, and then we'll move on to the balloons. And for one of the balloons, we're going to use Peacock Feathers dye ink, and I repeat the same process that I did for the cake, where I'll ink up the entire brush the first time, but I will, when I go back and forth to the ink pad, I'll just be getting those top bristles on the ink pad. Now we want the little knot that's tied in the balloon, that we want the ink to be heavy because that will be dark, should be darker. And then coming in from the edges, letting those bristles grab the edges, or the edge of the die cut. Wanting the outside of the balloon to be the darkest. And now we'll blend the ink around the edges, leaving the center to be much lighter than the outside edges. And this will lighten back some. I want it darker on this edge. If you're wondering what that noise is, my dog is licking her toes. Sorry about that. I hope you can't hear it. Okay, we'll set that aside. Move on to the next color. Is Seedless Preserves. And we'll blend some ink on our next balloon. So bringing the heavy ink on the knot of the balloon and then pushing towards the center. I'd like to ask that if you enjoyed the video, I would appreciate it if you hit the like and the subscribe button. All of us at Cat Scrappiness really appreciate when you like and subscribe, like our videos and subscribe to the channel. That helps the algorithm to know that you enjoy the video and will put it out there for more people to see our content. And it helps out our channel. So go around the outside, kind of blending the dark area and leave a little light highlight in the middle. There we go. And next we're going to use some ground espresso. And we're going to create some chocolate frosting. Oops. And I'll do the same thing. On this one, I'm not going to ink up the entire brush. I'm just going to ink up the top bristles of the brush because I'm not going to need the entire brush inked. But going from the bottom upward, I'm going to make the drips darker, but I want the larger portion of the frosting to remain lighter. Oops, I do want it to go upward. Just brushing from the outside in like I did on the previous die cuts. So it gives us a nice dark edge, nice highlight in the center. Looks nice and chocolatey. I'm going to speed this up while I finish inking these last two die cuts. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my background and I'm going to create a full-size shaker card. And what I want to do is create the shaker area from a piece of, this is just a piece of plastic from a stamp set. And I'm going to just cut that area that's large enough for my card base. Doesn't have to be any specific measurements, just larger than my card base. Oops, cut that a little bit wonky. And I'm going to cut this into two pieces so I can save the other side for another card. There we go. And I'm going to set the other piece aside, and I have some double-sided tape, and I'm going to tape down 3 of the sides. Making sure to really tack down that tape. Actually, we're going to put the tape down for 4 sides, but we're going to only release the backing for 3 of the sides until we get our shaker bits in there. There we go. Set aside my tape. I think I'm going to use my bone folder and really burnish that tape down. Oops, slippery. And I'll get my pokey tool and release. Make sure we release the right ones. Take that paper off. Let me think. One thing that I want to do before I tack these down is I want to miter these edges just a little bit. So I'm going to just hold that there. And you don't want to come up all the way to the corner, just a little bit. We want to cut down on some of the bulk. There we go. So now, making sure that I have enough area on all of the sides, I'm going to grab a hold of that plastic and just wrap it around. Got a little crease in there. And there we go. We have 3 sides. It's kind of getting a bend in it. Okay. Now let me grab my shaker bits. I have, these are 4 different color of the Brilliant dot sequence. I've got Barbie pink, peaches and cream, emerald, and brilliant sky blue. And I'm going to just dump some of these in here. Open up all the packages once. Okay, there we go. I'm doing this one-handed, so I don't want to put down the shaker bits in the baggie without closing them. I'm afraid I'll spill them. I am a little clumsy. There we go. Mix them all up. Okay, now we can remove the release paper on our, I'm going to snip off a little bit of that plastic. Remove this piece of backer, and I can seal this down. Cut away some more of this plastic. I think that's good. Oh, I think I do need to cut a little bit more. There we go. Okay, now let's see if it stays, if they stay in. Yep. So there's our shaker background. Now we can attach all of our images to the front of the card. I'm wondering if I should use tape on, I think I should use some tape on these instead of glue. I'll be right back. I'm going to add the tape and then we'll finish up the card. So I've added the tape onto the back of all of my die cuts. I glued these 3 pieces together since I want to tape it down all as one. I'm going to remove all of the backings from the double-sided tape, and then I'm going to add some glue also in addition to the tape, but the tape will grab a hold right away. The glue, I'm afraid, would not, but it might help it to secure better, so maybe have more of a permanent hold. I'm always leery of double-sided tape. So I'm just adding some glue to the spots that don't have any tape on them, and a little bit over the tape. Okay, that sticks right about center. There we go. Add our banner. Try not to hold onto the tape. Got a little bit of glue on the ends. Oopsie. It's a little too far to the left, but that's okay. This is going to be for my great-granddaughter's 5th birthday. I'm sure she won't notice that it's a little off-center. Okay, just a couple of balloons. And by the way, I did decide to go with the die-cut balloon strings because I didn't think I would be able to hide the glue from any of the tape, or I wouldn't be able to hide the glue behind the string. So there we go. I think I'm going to have to set something on top of that to get that glue to grab on the string. Oops, I got glue. I don't want it. Just wipe that up a bit. There we go. Now there is our card. Gotta love a shaker card. Thanks for watching my video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.